I have about 207 books on my want to read list on Fable, and I need to make a little dent on it. So I thought it would be fun if we let Scout from Fable, this little birdie, choose what we read. So I'm going to let Scout choose 5 books, and from those 5 books, I'll sort of see if I can get my hands on them, whether I own them or I can get them from the library, get an audiobook or an ebook, and then we'll read those books. I'm really excited because I've never done this. I typically choose books and read books based on my mood because I'm a big mood reader. So I don't know how this is going to affect me, but I feel like I'm in a good place to sort of read random books, and they're on my want to read list for a reason. So hopefully I like them. So I'm going to go to the Fable app, going to go to my want to read, and then there's a little icon with Scout, and he's going to choose my book. I'm excited. I'm more nervous about if I'm actually going to be able to get my hands on this book because I'm going to be going to the library. Okay, this one's exciting, but it's part of a duology. And I got the second book and I haven't read the first. So our first pick was Two Twisted Crowns. What I'm going to do with this is that I'm going to translate this to reading One Dark Window, which I just finished a Summerween video, and I am in the mood still for thriller mysterious books, and I'm assuming One Dark Window is just that. Actually, I would love to buy this because I literally mentioned annotating series, and this is a duology, so I feel like it's manageable. I can read 2 books and annotate them. How fun would that be? So, a possible book that I can buy. So we have One Dark Window as our first option. Before we choose our next read, I want to open a soda because a fun drink is needed. It's really good. It's really hot in my apartment and I have the fan hitting me, which is why I'm using the mic. Hopefully it's actually working, or else you're just going to be hearing the fan. It's a great use of my mic as well. So let's see what our second pick is from Scout. Our second pick from Scout is Wild Dark Shore. I think this one's a bit shorter. I don't know. I don't own it. I'm sort of waiting for a book that I own, so I just for sure know that I'm going to read it. So Wild Dark Shore is a novel by Charlotte McConaughey, and it is let's see, what's it about? Dominic Saw and his 3 children are caretakers of Shearwater, a tiny island not far from Antarctica. Home to the world's largest seed bank, Shearwater has once full of researchers, but with sea levels rising, the salts are now in final inhabitants. Until during the worst storm the island has ever seen, a woman mysteriously washes ashore. Our third pick will be Recursion by Blake Crouch. I literally just read Blake Crouch. Maybe I guess I have to continue reading his books. That's really interesting. Okay, all of these books are literally giving fall vibes, and I was really hoping I'd get a little bit of summer vibes because we're towards the end of summer. I was thinking maybe some rom-coms, some summer romances. Our fourth pick is going to be, please summer book, please something that I own, The Maze Runner. What the frick? Why? What? Okay. It's still giving fall. I've seen the movie before and it is on my want to read list, so maybe I'll have to read The Maze Runner. I don't know why this is so funny to me. The final book, drumroll please. The Book of Unknown Americans by Christina Enriquez. Oh, why does this one sound sad? I wanted fun summer books, but it is okay. It's okay. Maybe it is time for me to read this book. Let's add it to our list. So now, out of these 5 books, I'm going to try my best to get access to them through the library because sadly I own none of these books. And we'll sort of see the waiting time periods, which ones I can get first. And from there, we'll see what 3 books I'll be reading for this reading vlog. So next time you see me, I'll have some of these books. I'll let you know which ones we're reading and we'll have a reading vlog. I was able to get my hands on The Book of Unknown Americans by Christina Enriquez, and I've been eating this book up. I am 30% done with this book and it's very bingeable. There is a little snippet that I'm not really liking, but before I get into that, The Book of Unknown Americans is basically a bunch of different perspectives. The book starts off with Alma and she talks about her journey coming here to the United States. She comes with her husband and her daughter Maribel, and the reason why they come here is to make sure to get the help and resources for Maribel because there's been this big accident that has been mentioned that left Maribel a bit different than how she was before, mentally and like within like those kinds of capacities. So she came here to get her daughter help. And one of the aspects that I didn't like that I mentioned is that this book uses a certain word that is very derogatory for individuals with intellectual disabilities. I understand the storytelling within this book because it's not something that the author is describing, is using this to describe the character. It's more so other characters describing this character without truly knowing them. So I understand how powerful that message has to be in order to fully portray what is going on. So I don't know, I'm a little iffy about that. Other than that, like the story itself has been, again, great. It's a very impactful read so far and very easy to read. Right now I'm going to continue to listen to my audiobook and wash some of my dishes, do some chores. Look, I am matching with my case. This entire time it had plastic and I thought it was just like really bad quality and it was actually peeling, but no, it was protective plastic. So that's good to know. I'm going to pop these in and do my chores, listen to my audiobook. I just finished reading the Book of Unknown Americans and I absolutely love this book. We follow two main families, the Riveras that are from Mexico and the Torres who are from Panama. And basically like there's a bunch of different perspectives and point of views in this book and all of the people that we get to know all live in the same apartment complex and you don't really know too much of them, like other than the Riveras and the Torres. We sort of get more of a glimpse of their life and we're following their storyline and the other people sort of just pop in and talk about their story, why they're here in the United States, their background, like their struggles, and we get little short chapters of it just to add more perspective as to like you truly don't know what people are going through and their backstory and their goals and just like everything that it took for them to come here, basically. So as we follow the Torres and the Riveras, I didn't know exactly where their story was going to end, but it really took me by surprise. And towards the end, I wanted to sob, and I think I would have if I was in a different headspace. I think there was some times where my eyes got watery, but I didn't shed any tears. It was a very emotional read, to be honest, and I'm really glad that I was able to read this book and take it off of my TBR. I think I'm going to rate it a 4.5. Again, there's some language that's not my favorite within this book, and I think that's why I just bumped it down. But I would recommend it. I would. Yeah, it was a really good book. And then I was thinking about the other books that I had on my list that Scout chose. And again, we're getting these from the library because I don't own them. But it's like a 2-4 week wait. And I don't want to do that. I really don't. So I thought it'd be fun to see what Scout chooses for me again. And hopefully there's not a long wait for that book. Oh my god, we got Dolly All the Time, which is really exciting because it's a summer read and I know for a fact that it's not going to be available. Let me just double check. It is 11 weeks wait. 11 weeks wait. Behold the Dreamers. Looks like we found our book. Behold the Dreamers by Mbolo Mbui. I don't think I pronounced that right. Let's see what it is about. A compulsively readable debut novel about marriage, immigration, class, race, and the trapdoors in the American dream. The unforgettable story of a young Cameroonian couple making a new life in New York just as the Great Recession upends the economy. Okay, that's what we're going to be reading. A lot has happened since I've updated you on this reading vlog. I think I left off saying that I was going to read Behold the Dreamers, which is another novel based on immigrants, but these individuals come from Cameroon in Central Africa, and this story takes place in New York City. It has very similar themes to The Unknown Americans. And I think because of that, I started like listening to this audiobook and I got like 9% in. And it's not a book that I don't want to continue. Like, I think it's more of a soft DNF just because I literally read a book with similar themes and my heart couldn't take it. Like, I couldn't. I wanted something that was just a little bit different. So I decided to put an end to that book for a little bit. But at that same time, you know how I request books from the library? I got The Maze Runner, which, if you remember, is one of the books that Scout originally had picked for me. So then I was like, you know what, this is perfect because it's like a YA dystopian book. I've seen the first movie. I don't know if I think I've seen like parts of the second one, but I don't really remember it. And I don't think I've ever watched the third movie. So that's why it's on my want to read list. I feel like I love dystopian movies, so like I want to read more dystopian books, and this one's pretty much a classic. It's like around the same time that the Hunger Games happened, I assume. I don't know. That's how I'm sort of like putting that timeline when I was growing up. So I was really excited to read this book, and I was like, this is perfect because it's vastly different. Like, it's very different to what I was reading before. So then I actually finished The Maze Runner. It is right here. So I really haven't had any chance to like update you all with like reading this book, but again, I've already like watched the movie, and it's not a book, like it's a book that many people have already read, so I felt like my reactions weren't that necessary here, just because like I can already talk about the book after. And as I was reading it in the beginning, I like remember the movie very, very clearly. I think I've only seen it once, like maybe 10 years ago or more than 10 years ago, but I remember the beginning of it, and then I don't really remember like the plot points though. Like, I understand what's going on, and as they're talking about the glade, I can picture it, like how they put it in the movie, and like the maze and the characters. So like once they start talking about characters, I think about the actors that played them. So then at first I was a little, not like bored, but I already knew what was coming. And then more towards the middle, I was like, okay, this is what I was like trying to get at, because I don't remember exactly everything. Like, I don't remember what exactly they do in the glade, how they survive. I don't exactly remember like what happens after that. I think I just remember like the beginning and the end of the movie, and like all of the middle, I have no idea. So I was really interested, and honestly I binged this book, and I'm really happy that I was able to get a hold of this one, because I think the other book that I was going to read was A Wild Dark Shore, and it's a very completely different book than like The Maze Runner and The Unknown Americans, but I don't think I was up for that kind of vibe yet. So I'm happy that I got this book, and I'm all done with it, which is so exciting. I think I'd give this book about 4 stars, because I do, like, now I'm thinking about rewatching the movie, and I like literally texted my younger sibling, have you seen The Maze Runner? And she said no. I was like, perfect, because we need to watch it together. And now this makes me more motivated and excited, and also like we're not that far from autumn and fall, and I feel like dystopian books or books like this give that vibe, so I'm excited to continue the series. I think that'd be really fun, and it'd be like newer, because I truly do not know what happens in the second movie or the third one, meaning that I don't know what happens in the books. So I'm really excited about that. Also, like last week, I believe, I went to Barnes & Noble at the Grove, and I had a book in mind, a book that Scout had chosen for me, and that was One Dark Window. So I was so happy, because I'm like, I finally have an excuse to buy a book, and I haven't bought a book in such a long time. And I went with the intent to buy this one because it's a duology, and I just thought it'd be so much fun, again, to get into a series, but I didn't know that I was actually going to get into this. Doesn't matter. But I want like a physical series that's not too long. Duology is perfect, because I'm not investing too much time. And I want to annotate these books, so that's why I wanted to get my own copy. It took me quite a while, because it's a huge Barnes & Noble. It has like 3 stories, and I was trying to figure out where this book was exactly. And I kept staring at like the fantasy section, and I was like, I cannot find it. And it was like in the corner over there. It took me such a long time, but I found One Dark Window, so I'm really excited to start reading this once I'm done with my first book. Ever since Scout told me to read this, and it's been on my TBR list, I don't really know what it's about, but I'm very intrigued, and it's beautiful, and it does get fall and autumn, even though we're not in that yet. But I'm excited to finish this book, or just to get into it. I guess I shouldn't be going into the mindset of I just want to like consume this already, because I want to take my time. But I bought some pens that I'm so excited about, because they're super fine, and then I wanted to buy tabs, so that's why I was sort of leaving this book to the end, because I wanted those things to come in so that I could annotate it. But then I decided, you know what, like I think like the tags on them isn't necessarily like a me thing. I think I'd rather highlight and write things, so I wanted like fine pens, And that's what I got. So I'm really excited. I haven't started it yet, as I mentioned, but we'll get more of like an actual reading vlog with this one because I'm going in completely blind. I've literally been waiting this entire reading vlog to read this just because I want to annotate it. The last book that I annotated was Carmilla, and I had a lot of fun doing it, but it was a really short book, so I'm really excited. And I sort of tried to match the highlighters with the book itself. I know this green, or like this green blue teal color, seems really bright, and it is. But it sort of matches like this little transitional color. And then gray would be for the smoke. And I guess I can use like... Sorry. I guess I can use other colors, but I don't want to overwhelm myself because I haven't really annotated a lot. And then I bought these pens. Really, really fine. This is 0.8. I mean, 0.18. So it's super tiny. I don't know if it's ever going to focus on it. But I'm really excited. The only thing is that these do smear, which is annoying. I tried it on my Hobonichi and then I just smeared a little bit. So I just need to wait or like blow on the page a little bit. That was really long, so that it doesn't get all over the pages. I honestly have no idea what this book is about, but I'm excited, and it was in my want to read list for a reason. So I want to start this book, and I want to do a quick reading sprint of an hour and see how many pages I can read. I don't know if I'm going to be like annotating a lot within those first couple of pages. I think I may, just because this is a fantasy series and I don't know like how much world building there's going to be, and obviously there's going to be characters that are introduced and I want to remember them. So I'll probably be, I'll probably be highlighting like characters, how they're related to the main character, sort of like important information of the world itself with the gray. Yes, I think so. And then with this like teal color, it'll probably be like quotes or parts of the story that I like. I think I'm gonna base this like with the writing maybe. Like if there's a certain quote or a certain like, I don't know. Again, I haven't read like anything from Rachel Gillett, so I don't know exactly how she writes, but I thought that'd be fun. And then for my pen, like again, any little notes, thoughts that I've had. I also want to start like underlining words that I don't know what they mean. So then I can search them up what they mean, and then I could just write a little bit about them. Just so again, I feel like part of reading, yes, well at least for me, is to like entertain myself, but it's also part of like growth and like expanding my vocabulary. And I'm one to, I don't know why, but I don't think I'm the best at like explaining myself. And I think reading within itself has been really helpful in that sense, and it's made me a bit more comfortable and confident when I talk, but I'm not the best talker. So I thought it'd just be fun if there's like some new vocab words here that I don't really know, or maybe it'll be like words, you know how sometimes in fantasy series they'll have words that they're just like made up, basically like creatures and stuff. I don't know if there's gonna be creatures in this one, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, and I'm going to make a little I think it's called a key. Oh my god, also I didn't realize this when I bought this, but it's a signed copy. Isn't that so cool? Oh, okay, I'm going to do like a little key where I'll just like highlight a little bit of here. You'll see the key, and then we'll do an hour reading sprint. So exciting. 24 pages. I read 24 pages in an hour. So I'm a slow reader, and that is a-okay. Also, I want to say that I was annotating, so I felt like I kept rereading pages again to sort of highlight. And then I decided that after every chapter, I'm going to do a short summary of what happened in that chapter. I know, it might be overkill for some people, but for me, it's actually really helpful because I am the most forgetful person you will ever meet or know of, to be quite honest. And sometimes I like read things and I'm not actually thinking about it or reading it. Like it'll just be words on the page and I'm scanning them, and in my head I'm like, I know that I'm reading, but nothing is sticking. So I think these little summaries will keep me accountable, and it's actually making me just like slow down more into my reading because I'm not a fast reader at all. But I feel like it's making me like reading again. I don't know. Like, I feel like making content about books in general, or consuming content about like other booktubers reading 100 books, or like reading 2 books in 24 hours or more than that. And it like excites me in the way that like, oh my God, I want to be like that. But also I feel like it's just binging. And I know it's not necessarily bad, but I feel like I'm not enjoying it anymore. Like, if anything, I'm like, I need to read faster, I need to read more, I need to consume more books, I need to read more books. And I don't want to be in that mindset. Like, I just want to read because it's fun. I want to have a good time. And I think this is helping me in doing that. I am almost 50% done with this book. I'm on chapter 19 and I've been loving it. I believe page 202. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. So we follow our main character, Elizabeth, I believe. I want to say like Elizabeth, but it's not. It's spelled differently. But her cousin calls her Bess, so that's how I call her too, because I want to feel close to her. And I want to be like, you know, we're friends, and I'll call you Bess as well. And I sort of like that tidbit that only her cousin calls her like that, and they just have like a pretty close relationship. Anyways, we're placed in this town called Blunder, where there's this kingdom. And this entire town is surrounded by like this mist that is very dangerous. So people have to be carrying charms around to get through the mist. Now, a lot of people typically stay just within the town itself and look up to the king for like protection. And there's these providence cards that are introduced in the books that allow people to use magic. And there's only 12 different kinds of providence cards, but there's multiple of like a specific card. Until it gets to like this point where like out of the 12 cards, it's sort of like I literally made a note about it because it reminded me of like the 12 Days of Christmas song or something like that. When it was like, on the 12th day of Christmas, my true love came to me. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know literally where it's at, but basically like there's 12 different cards, and there's like a bunch of cards for like the black horse, and then as the other cards keep going down the list, there's less and less of them until there's one where it's just like one of a kind. There's only that card, there's no other cards like it. Basically, that's the point. And part of this like plot of the book is to try to find all of the 12 cards and unite them. Now, I don't want to spoil too much about it, but I love Bess. I love her so much. I'm really excited about this, and there's like a gothic feel to it, which I love. And I don't typically read a lot of gothic books, but I feel like they're meant for me. Like, I really enjoy them, and I don't know why I don't read books like them. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I've been really enjoying this book. I want to thank Scout for recommending me this book, and I'm so excited. Like, I already want to read the second one. I just don't want it to end, but I also, like, want to just read it. Oh my god, I have less than 20 pages to finish One Dark Window. It is so good. I was reading it last night and I was like, I need to just like film my reaction as I read the last 20 pages. I'm so obsessed with this book. Hopefully the ending is great. We'll see. Oh my god. That was so good. Wow. This book comes with like a snippet of part 2, but I don't want to read it. I don't want to read it because I want to buy the next book. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. I had high expectations, but they exceeded my expectations. I love this book. I love it. I love it. I love it. Obviously, this book is getting a 5-star. I would even say like it's one of my 6-star books. I don't know. It depends, honestly. Like this book itself is amazing. I don't know. It's amazing. But if the second book is just as good and like that's the end of the series, that would be so perfect. I'm so happy. Oh my god, Scout, you did your big one. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I don't have a lot of words right now. Let me sit on it for a little bit. I think I'm going to be giving this book 5 stars, possible like 6-star book, just because it's very different from what I typically read. I did annotate it, so I feel like more connected to this book. I will have to say, after like the first 100 pages, I didn't annotate as much, just because again, I think I was highlighting more so the information about like this world, and it's not too much of like world building, to be quite honest. Like it's not too intricate. Again, it's like a simple town with a kingdom and there's like this deadly mist. But I was sort of also highlighting things that I thought was going to like foreshadow something, and I feel like I caught some of those things. And again, I would do little summaries at the end of the chapters, not after every chapter, because again, I don't know, like I was following along. I was doing this in case I'd like get lost. But since I finished this book in a very short time, I felt like I was already in the story every single time. Wow, it was amazing. Something that I love about our character, Elizabeth. Something that I love about our character is that typically with like fantasy series, and I haven't read a lot, they depict them as like they're always depicting them as like very small, thin, scrawny like girls with like so much strength for some reason, or like the ability to like heal really fast, or like something like that, or like even within like Fourth Wing, how the main character, I forgot her name, is like a pretty small, like thin individual and like very weak, just very weak, but then like is also becomes like a determined fighter. Like it doesn't really make sense to me. I like that Elizabeth is a little bit different than that. Not necessarily saying that like she's not thin, because I'm sure she is, like any other book depicts thin people. But I just mean like there's more to it when it comes to like her character and being this sort of force to be reckoned with, which I really like. It makes sense in my head, like how this was depicted and how her strength was depicted, which I really enjoyed. Oh my god, there's so much like found family within this book as well, and it sort of gave me vibes of like, I just compare things to like when I like something, I compare it to something that I already like, so it can make sense in my head as to why I like this. And this found family aspect, I don't know why, gave me like the Weasley family from Harry Potter, and I really like that. Like I don't like over the top characters or people, because sometimes it doesn't seem that realistic. Like there's no way people are like over the top all the time like that. And I feel like it gave a really good mix of characters, like not too much, not so little, to the point where I'm just like I really like them. And I'm like, I actually like when something happens to them, or like if something were to happen to them, again, because you don't know what happens in this book, my heart feels it. I'm just like, oh my god, like I am left shocked, which is exactly what I want. Like I want to feel something when I'm reading a book, and this is just amazing. I would love to read some of my favorite quotes. Let's see if I feel like I wish I would have highlighted more quotes that made me laugh, because the banter here is really good. Like I am not one to like read something and be like, haha, that was funny. If anything, I'd be like, that was a little cringe. Again, I don't know why. Like I wish I could just enjoy everything that I read. I truly do. But deep inside, I am a hater, and I don't know why. But there's nothing that I hate about this book. Well, there is one thing that I didn't really like, but it's fine. I could look past it, I guess. And it's any time our main character, Elizabeth, or Bess, is like next to food, or like there's like a feast or like a dinner or like a ceremony or like something happening where there's food, Miss Girl's like, I just lost my appetite. Like she never eats. She never eats. Like every single time her appetite is lost. And I'm like, girl, like how are you even alive at this point? Just eat. Like it's a book, just eat. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just weird. Why can I not find any I don't know, like not only like the character, like herself, like does she have good banter, but she has like good banter with like other characters, and other characters are really good as well. Like, oh my god. See, like I just have little things. I won't say who said this, but it'll say something like, I love when they argue. It keeps my weak little heart beating. Like, that's so funny. Like, if you get the context of the character, it is so funny. Because it's like, so like, why would you say that right now in this moment? You know what I mean? There's other little things that I highlighted that I feel like spoke to me. One of the quotes is like, if you don't say it out loud, can it ever be real? And I feel like there's so much to unpack in that. Like, obviously there's real emotions and parts of like people's identity that are real, even if it's not like spoken out loud, but it's just like that freeing sensation or feeling of like being seen and being known, making it real. I don't know. I really love that quote at all. I really love that quote, period. Let's see, what other quotes? Oh, I also love that in the beginning of every single chapter, there's like these cards, and they're not exactly the Providence cards, but it'll be like parts of the book of, you would think I'd know, the book of something. And it's just like, you're learning more about like the Providence cards themselves, or like the book itself, some of like their quotes, and it's sort of like, it's poetic, it rhymes, it's cute, like I like it, it's mysterious. So I really like how that sets up the chapter. This book is also sectioned off into 3 different sections, which is nice. Like it has its chapters. Chapters are not like too long, to be quite honest. I'd say like 10 pages. And you know how in that first hour reading sprint, I said that it took an hour to read 24 pages? Now, I think that's just me trying to get into a story, but once I'm like locked in, I was reading like 20 pages in not 20 minutes, but in a faster pace. So I think it was also that like this book flew by and I absolutely adored it. So thank you, Scout, for choosing this book. This was honestly such a great reading vlog because again, these books were on my list. I didn't have like I didn't think I'd like pick them up anytime soon, but because Scout chose them, I was able to read them, and I don't think any of them were below 4 stars. So pat on the back to me for choosing my books, and also pat on the back to Scout, the bird, for helping me choose my reads. And I'm really happy about it. I feel like it'd be really fun to do this again. I realized that there's actually a section in Scout where you can filter books. So I think if I do this next time, I'll filter it out to sort of what I want to read, like different kinds of genres, and I can choose between that. I think that'd be really helpful. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this reading vlog. Hopefully you enjoyed. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It makes me happy. And leave a comment down below if you used Fable and if you used Scout before to choose your reads. That would be fun. And if you haven't tried that, try it. I'd highly recommend. Okay, bye.